What up? I'm in the car. I made myself a bit pretty. I put some makeup on and tried to do my hair. We're on our way to visit a woman named Usha, who helps, runs a not-for-profit and helps Nepalese girls get educated. So I'm gonna have a chat with her girls and maybe provide them with some inspiration. Gonna introduce my friend Abi here to Usha because he has very similar kind of values and passions about education in Nepal. So yeah, I'm basically spreading love and making connections all over the world.
My name is Usha. I have studied well from 5th class.
So you started supporting you from the 5th grade?
Yes.
Okay.
And now I'm studying class 12.
What do you want to be?
I want to be, I want to work in bank manager.
Bank. Okay.
I work in finance. Yeah.
She is also in finance.
She's the
1998.
first.
And I was working in Save the Children at that time.
She's the first
It's a
one.
foundation.
Mm.
And then
She
Save
has
the Children.
completed nursing, diploma in nursing, and currently she is working in one of the reputed hospital in Nepal, which is located in Dulikhel. And she has supported the right list, and she also completed her diploma in nursing, and now she's working in a hospice. Do you know the hospice?
Hospice.
Yeah, like
And
yeah,
ending people.
yeah, yeah.
And she's also the same girl with sister is supporting the middle one also. She's currently in 8th grade right now.
Yeah.
We all are sponsoring one.
One each.
One each. Right, and so usually the girls that come through get a job, they'll
When they
sponsor.
start working and they have the money, they
Yeah.
can afford.
Yeah. Yeah.
And our main program is run in foundational support, and 200 plus are around
Individual sponsors.
individual sponsorship. So
Yeah, from New Zealand we have like six
yeah,
are sponsoring. Yeah.
six,
Split up when I was 4 and I moved back to New Zealand with my mum. And then I grew up in New Zealand for 18 years and I had a very abusive alcoholic stepfather. I was an only child. We lived in women's refuges, not all the time, but you know, we didn't have a car for a year, which is in the Western world that's pretty poor. I remember living on potatoes for 2 weeks because we had no food. That's kind of where there was a lot of like drugs and alcohol and all that sort of stuff. Then when I was about 17, 18, for a little while, just marijuana, nothing major. I kind of just was a bit lost for about 5 years. I had a retail job and was really not, I was spending every dollar that I had, which wasn't much. And then at 21, I was really unhappy and I just thought, I said to Mum was in Australia at that point, she'd moved back to Australia. And I was like, I said to her, I'm really unhappy and I don't see the point of life. Like I'm really bored and I'm only 21. Like what's the, I had no purpose. I felt really empty. And I said to Mum, if I still feel this way in 12 months, I'm going to come over to Australia and leave this whole life behind. So that's what I did. It was about 6 months later. So May 2005, I came to Australia. It was the best decision I ever made because that life that I left, I heard that all my friends are like wanted by the police and like, just really, I could have gone down this path that was so different to where I've ended up now. And it was a really hard transition. I spent a couple of years drinking too much, just floundering and not really knowing what I was doing with myself. And I went and met this person. He taught me how to ride motorbikes. And from me learning how to ride motorbikes, I then met a motorbike crew that then introduced me to these people that knew how to dance. So I went out last night and danced salsa. It was like right next to my hotel. I was like, oh my God, I've got to be there. And I have no dance shoes, so I just took socks. I was like, I can wear socks. Anyway, so from the dancing, that kind of saved me because the group of people that I started mixing with, we're much just better quality people. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you. You're like my sister. I feel like my
Daughter, maybe.
daughter. Right.
Still really young.
1, 2, 3.
So I just wanted to interject here to tell you a little bit more about how I met Usha. So if you've watched one of the first Chitwan video, I mentioned that that's when I first met her. We went for a cruise along the river with her family. And then I had a few meals with them over those 3 days in Chitwan. And she actually never told me about her charity business. It was her daughter-in-law that started to tell me about it, which I really liked, because it never ever felt to me that Usha was ever trying to recruit me to sponsor her girls or try to sell me anything. And it was actually me, when I heard about it, I had shared a little bit with, actually Usha had shared her story, which I think is amazing. I might interview Usha and see if I can get her to share her story on my channel. It's such an amazing story of where she came from to what she's done with her life. And, you know, ultimately she could live a real cushy life in America. She was in America for 16 years. She actually started the Little Sisters in America. She decided to come back to Nepal to really focus on the charity, which I find really commendable, because she could be living, you know, this lavish life in America, and she chooses not to. She chooses to be in Nepal and help these girls. So I actually said to her, almost as we were leaving Chitwan that day, their family and I left at the same time, and I said to her, hey, would it be something of interest if I were to come and have a chat with your girls and just give them a bit of inspiration? And she went, oh, that would be lovely. And I said, yeah, well, I'm in Kathmandu for a couple of days or 3 days. And she said, okay, well, let's swap numbers. And, you know, so anyway, so I turned up, which is the videos that you're just seeing. And I said to Usha, I said, you need to write a book. And she said, well, I don't want to write a book about me. She's very humble. But she said, we have actually written, this is a first draft of a book that hasn't been published yet. And it was all stories about her girls. So I picked up that book, and Abi and her sort of team were having a chat in Nepalese. I had no idea what they were saying. And I opened the book. It's like a 300-page book. Opened the book, and the first story that I came across, that I read, was of this girl who had domestic violence issues growing up at home, and that her dream is to get educated and then help other women that are going through domestic violence issues. Now, I grew up with domestic violence in my life, and that just struck a chord. I thought, out of all of the pages that I could turn to, that one was the first one I read. And they were all very different. I read a few more stories, but I ended up welling up with tears and almost like bursting into tears in front of this room of people I had just met. I'm sitting there going, keep your shit together, Dee, keep it together, because you've just met these people, you can't be a blubbering mess. That was when I just thought, I want to help them. I really want to help them. So More Than Mortgages is going to be sponsoring some girls. The way that I met Usha and how everything sort of rolled out just felt really natural. Yeah, so I just want to tell you a bit more about that story and why I feel so passionate. Also, while I was there, Usha showed me around their modest building, sort of, you know, head of operations, or I suppose you can call it, for the not-for-profit organization. There's photos on the wall of her. She received, I can't remember what the award was, but there's photos of her receiving an award from the Dalai Lama. There's photos of her shaking hands with Bill Clinton. There's photos of her shaking hands with the president of India. I'm like, and I'm walking around looking at these photos going, who are you, Usha? Like, who did I randomly meet in Chitwan? Yeah, I was just really impressed with this woman and what she's done and what she's built for the betterment of these girls. So it's actually really close to my heart, and I think that just all the signs and how I met Usha and how it all unfolded was really natural. And to me, that's what I would call flowing downstream of the river of life, basically. And just, yeah, so I just wanted to sort of share that with you. Back to the video.
Oh, I'm slipping away, so don't let me go, nah, nah, nah.
experience.
Blame it on our culture.
Yeah. It's like rude if I don't.
Yeah.
Do I need to use this?
Other way, other way.
You don't need to, but you can.
Do you guys have any diseases?
Herpes.
Can't catch that twice though, can you? Do you just suck it straight in your lungs?
Yeah.
It's like a bomb. Not that I've heard. It's smooth.
Tastes not too bad.
It's good. It's better than cigarettes.
It's better than cigarette. It feels better than vape. Smoking this too much will knock you out.
This?
Yeah.
What do you mean knock you out?
It'll pump, like make your lungs deep, and you start having headache.
Oh.
It's so addictive. You just keep on smoking like vape.
Well, you don't have access everywhere anyway. Good
So
thing.
it's like a special occasion type
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, okay. Hey, there.
Riding in the city,
Riding in the city!
we are going to have some ocean dinner. Yeah, I hope I don't kill her.
Focus on riding.
Focus on riding. We're vlogging on the bike. Yeah, it's
No,
kind of
but
dark.
we need the
The flashlight,
flash,
right?
yeah.
Where is it? You don't carry it.
Hey!
Hey, we are back again. Yeah, and there's the bike. So we need a slide. I'm gonna honk. Move, bitch! Get out the way! Get out the way, bitch! Get out the way! Inside the streets of Kathmandu.
Wait, it started now. We're deep inside the streets of Kathmandu. Dirt streets.
Dude, bumpy, babe.
There's a truck.
Everything going here and there.
It's totally cool.
Yeah.
I'm like integrated into the society of Nepal. I'm like carrying a bag of goods, videoing us while we're riding a motorcycle when there's no traffic rules whatsoever.
We have drank a few beers and there's zero tolerance of alcohol in Nepal while driving.
You're not meant to drive. But what are the odds we get pulled up?
Yeah, so...
Can you just pay them off? Give them some money?
Nah.
Ah,
Either you gotta go to the jail or...
fuck. You go, oh great, cool. Do I have to go to jail? I'm not driving.
And this is my mother's shop.
Oh.
Usha clothes. And
Ashana's collection?
Subhas, the one that was closed.
Ah,
So that's my mother's shop. She's like
Suba is her name.
Yeah, Subhas. 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh wait, when are you gonna do this bit?
No, you just start.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change, and in the bad times I fear myself. When I'm all choked up and I can't find words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Oh yeah, is that the
When you look at me.
Oh fuck, we're there. Okay, wait, go back.
Alright.
Wait.
Where do we start from?
When I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play,
Apa tu? Benar.